still get a good purchase. I can push cut this. Backpack instead, and this fits pretty well against the volley extra. Hey everybody, welcome back to Gun Totin' Minnesotan. My name is Andrew, and what you're looking at here is the TOOR Knives Ravyth, or Ravyth S. I think it's Ravyth S is the pronunciation. I happen to get it in black, and I went with the Ulti-Clip Slim for the Kydex sheath. There are other options. You can get it in gray. You can get different waistband clips or the ultimate belt attachment. I like the Ulti-Clip Slim 3.3 for this particular designation, the way that I carry it, which most of the time has been either in a backpack or front pocket carry, front right pocket carry. When it comes to the specs of the blade, very briefly, I'll go over some of these. 7.6 inches overall. Blade length is 3.6 inches, 4-inch handle. Handle material is G10. Steel is CPM M4, which is phenomenal. The blade finish will assist in some corrosion resistance and also a lack of reflectiveness. It still has that tactical element to it. Blade thickness is 0.188. Blade hardness is 60 to 62 on that Rockwell hardness scale, and the product weight is still only 4.5 ounces, so very reasonable. I like this blade a lot. I'm going to get into it and show you some clips of how I've been using it. I carried it for about a month as my main EDC in my pocket, and I really enjoyed it, but I'll come back and wrap it up and tell you who I think this is best for. Got some high density foam. And as you can see, even though it's only, cutting surface is only about a 1/4 inch bigger than the foam, I can still get a good purchase. I can push cut this. And this is the pretty firm stuff. This is hard foam. Makes really nice cuts out of that. Let's move on to some thicker plastic from a handle. This is like zip tie material. Yep, definitely can make the cut. Ooh. And it can, in fact, slice through that. It's going to take some reasonable pressure because it's a pretty big, broad piece of plastic. The little rocking because it has that belly. And there it is. See how the edge looks? Any damage? I don't see any damage. Yeah, maybe one spot. Yeah, maybe one spot in there dulled out on me. Okay. Grab a piece of cardboard. There you go. That's all it took. Yep, that's all it took right there. That feels like it's about shaving sharp again. I'm telling you, CPM M4 is a really impressive steel. It's an appropriate steel for a blade like this, and somebody who's going to actually use it, relatively hard.
Miss Eda's mom, my preschool teacher. So, I'll just tell you when we get back, because I don't actually really know. Caleb, did you want to play with me? I want to swing. Let's go, buddy. Go. Yeah, Caleb needed someone to play with. So he just grabbed my hand and pulled me over there. Over here. Look out ahead!
Oh man, that thing slices. Like, slices really good considering how thick it appears to be. But that secondary grind on there and the actual edge grind really works well. Feels thin. That's really sharp. It's surprising. CPM 4 does seem to hold an edge really well too. I have not had to sharpen this yet. I've only stropped it, and I've actually stropped it against cardboard a couple times. I think I maybe hit it with a letter strop once so far. DSI, by the way, love their rifles. Fantastic 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10 small frame. Anyways, I'm gonna break down some boxes, again, using the Ravyth. You're joining me from the deer stand for a second. One of the things that I appreciate about this blade is that it's small enough, it's compact enough that I'll actually carry it. I dig a good tactical blade, but some of them are very large. And not only it would be hard to carry on a plate carrier or a duty belt, but just EDCing them in general might be more difficult. This one I will actually carry, and that's really important to me. If I'm going to EDC it and use it as a defensive backup and all those kind of things, it needs to be able to slice well. It needs to be tough enough. It needs to be a pretty superior steel, because at this point I am a little bit of a steel snob, and so the CPM 4 is attractive to me. I need it to have a good texture that I can hold on to well, especially for the defensive aspect. Not offensive, but defensive aspect. And I like being able to hold it in one or two different ways. So the kind of hammer grip works really well. It's actually quite comfortable in hammer grip. I'm surprised how comfortable it is in hammer grip. And then additionally in reverse, it's just perfect. XL size hands, works really well in reverse. It works okay in ice pick. There is quite a guard there. That's going to protect your hand from anything. It's not going to slip up unless you're really fooling around. Handle is long enough and thick enough and broad enough and all that to work for my hand for an EDC. And now the blade shape. The blade shape is really important. I like drop points in general. I like spear points. I like the kind of bushcrafty blades that are leaf-shaped designs. But when it comes to an EDC that has a defensive backup, it needs to be acute enough, thick enough, and slicey enough to do all those things well, and this does all of that for me. I think it's a really great design. If it did not come to such a slicey edge, I would not be as big of a fan, just being completely honest. That would ruin it for me. But it is slicey, and it does work really well for all those applications in my estimation, and I can definitely get behind it. When it comes to carry options, most of the time I'm going to carry with a sweater, something like this, especially now that it's late fall. I prefer to carry with a sweater over it. It's not that I have any issues with this. It's completely legal for me to carry a fixed blade of a certain size in my area, but I just like having it right here. In the waistband does work, and it works with the pants that I wear. I tend to wear a lot of Carhartts or Levi's. It works just fine with that. The ulti-clip is incredibly strong. I've never ever had it fail on me, not a single time, as long as you use proper hardware for attaching. The thing is, it secures really well, so you kind of have to use two hands to get it off. and I used 2 sets of hardware. I inset it deep enough that when it locks down, it's just about at the belt line right there, so I don't have excess handle material sticking out, and I can grab it with my hand going all the way up to that first finger position. And it's a tough clip, man. There we go. So when I'm working with it, it's easy to take out. It's quiet. It's basically silent in and out of the sheath, but it does have good retention. I have no concerns whatsoever about this coming out on its own. And it's actually relatively low profile. It's really not going to stick out on you and hang out because the handle is just long enough to be functional and just short enough to tuck away pretty well. Sometimes it's nice to carry the blade in a backpack instead, and this fits pretty well against the Molly. Actually fits inside my Everly stock really well. It's a nice lightweight, low profile, compact blade. It's great for a backpack carry on my most exterior pocket if I don't want to have it riding on my side. Right now, I don't want it scratching up my stock, so I'm throwing it in the backpack. Nothing wrong with this, it's just I have a very delicate stock, and this is a nice rugged piece of material. It's not sharp, but it is a hard piece of material. So backpack carry for the time being. When it comes to a tip like this, although it might seem a little bit delicate, I don't think it actually is. You can see there is still enough. It's a tapered spine, but there's still enough there that you can really do some solid penetration with this without fear of breaking or chipping. It just feels like it's been built in a way where it can handle the abuse, and I'm not too concerned about it being overly delicate. I actually think it's a really well done tip for its application. Again, tactical application, EDC application, either way, I think this tip is going to do just fine. Edge geometry, it's such a surprise of a blade because it is so thick and robust, but it comes down to a really nice sweeping edge, very functional. I did use this to gut a squirrel a little bit, and I found that it has a really nice piercing point. Got to be careful about that with skinning game. That's not the primary calling of a blade like this, I don't think, but using it for that, just grabbed a little bit of the skin, went under, and this edge just followed the edge, and it sliced really, really nice into the gut cavity. No nicks from hitting the rib cage and just splitting that up, and then I ring the legs with it and cut through the tendons. I don't cut through bones with this if I can help it. It did really well. So far, the blade is still shaving sharp, and that's because I do hone it against a piece of cardboard. I'll take just a piece of cardboard and go back and forth, and it takes that wicked edge again. In a month, will it still do that? No. I'll probably have to reprofile a small part of the edge, but I'm going to keep that coating on there as long as I can because this is going to help it with 2 things. The coating helps preventatively keep moisture from affecting this, especially if you're in a saltwater environment or you're near the coast. And then secondly, it's anti-reflective, and so it does seem to really cut down on the sheen or glare at all, which has its applications, especially for the tactical community. And I like the look. It's a really nice blade. Ergonomically, I found it to be a real delight, man. It's comfortable in a surprising way. I'm used to bigger handles being comfortable, and this handle, although it's long enough for me, it is less broad than a lot of handles I've used before, but the angle that you're looking at right here, this sweep across the top, this bow, a little bit of an arch, and this down here, for whatever reason, it just makes it feel like it melts into your hand pretty good. Nice finger choil, or rather, nice sharpening choil up front here, so when it is time to reprofile that blade or start sharpening it, I'm going to be able to start in here and get a nice clean start to the sweep of the blade. Well, that probably tells you enough about the blade to get it started. Anyways, I will have follow-up videos to this. I just wanted to give you an initial video so you didn't have to wait another month to see anything on it, because I think it's actually really worthwhile. Highly recommended. Right off the bat, I'll tell you, I absolutely recommend this. But who do I recommend it for is an important follow-up to that. So I'm going to say the tactical crowd, absolutely. And what do I mean by that? Probably folks who are in law enforcement, military, maybe security. If your department has an allowance for you to carry a fixed blade, then this is a really nice size fixed blade for those applications. I think it's great. And then my application personally, since I'm not in law enforcement, security, or any of that kind of stuff, I would say just a civilian who wants a good, sturdy, defensive blade to carry. Now, that's not its primary task for me. Really, I mean that. Most of the time, I'm cutting up stuff with it. I'm cutting down boxes, breaking down boxes, cutting zip ties. Like I've been moving right now, and I'm doing a lot of that kind of work. I'm cutting a whole lot of things up, and I've used that knife because it's in my pocket every single day. But if I needed to, in a worst case scenario where I could not use my firearm or my firearm was out of commission, would I use that blade? Absolutely. Would it hurt me? I don't think so. I think that blade is designed well enough that I think it's going to stay in place. I can hold it well. Depending on what grip you're comfortable with, I think you can get away with a lot with this one. I think it could hold it in place, and would it scare someone off? Yeah, nobody wants to get poked by that thing. It's long enough, it would go deep enough, it's sharp enough, it's slicey enough, it's pokey enough. It just really checks all the boxes for defensive or tactical use. For those of you in the offensive crowd, sure, it's going to be amazing. Defensive crowd, yes, it's very practical. EDC crowd, yes. And so I at least check the boxes on that last two sets. I think it's very, very practical. The price point is awesome for a CPM M4 steel with such a great sheath, and you could throw in a tech lock or an ulti clip or whatever it is that you think you would carry best with, and it'll work for your outfits and your systems. For me, I like the EDC application. I like the ulti clip. But I like the blade. And so you will see more on this in the future, probably in not too long, actually, especially as hunting season's coming up. As I'm twiddling my thumbs, maybe I'll make some more videos about this and talk about my opinions on the coating, the jimping, and those handle scales.